Have you ever wondered about 3D filament quality off of Amazon? I have since I got this thing about 2 months ago, just a little under 2 months. I've been wondering about, should I continue to use Bambu Labs print, their filament, which comes in this beautiful little space age looking filament holder, spool, what have you. You can actually print these up. A couple people on Maker World have given the dimensions to these. Or what would be a benefit to using 3D printing filament from Amazon? Well, the one benefit I see is this is way, way cheaper. I got these 8 tiny little rolls here for roughly the cost of 2 rolls from Bambu Lab. Now, keep in mind, Bambu Lab's filament, I've heard amazing things. So these are the colors I wound up getting. I got purple, green, a nice gray, a yellow, another kind of tealish, purplish, a brown, a wooden brown, a white, and I believe a black. Okay, well, I've had extreme luck with this filament. I've been using PLA matte, which means it's got no shine. PLA is the type of material. You've got PETG, you've got ABS. There's a tons of different styles and not styles, as far as the contents, the ingredients of the plastic itself. What is in the ingredients, and that gives you the determination of what kind of filament it actually is. So since I'm very novice with this thing, and as you can see in the couple of videos that I've posted so far, it's a lot of fun. It's really exciting. I want to run a complete head-to-head comparison. I'm going to run a print with what I got left with the orange and what I got left with the black from Bambu Lab, and I'm actually going to do a head-to-head comparison, and I'll pick one of these bright colors so we can see a little bit of a contrast as far as the difference. Maybe I'll do a yellow and a purple, one or the other. The goal will be to print 2 identical prints and see the comparison, see the quality comparison, see what kind of differences we have in flow rate. Is it going to work well in this extruder, etc. Really, really psyched to learn more about this process. 3D printing to me is freaking mind-blowing. Every day I get to use this thing, I'm blown away. Oh, and by the way, the design for my YouTube channel logo, which is the channel here, my first 3D printer, I created this. I created my own logo, and with the AMS was really cool. You can see I've got 2 color prints here. So the starting color was white. I hit a pause on the print once this came just a few clips above the actual letters and the design. But really, really cool. It's a 3D printer nozzle with a surround, and I wrote my first 3D printer. I'm just blown away. I really am blown away. This is a prototype, by the way. The letters are going to be adjusted. They're going to be a little wider, and this is going to stretch out more. Plus, I got something very, very special in store for this sign and for other signs as well. The goal is to start helping people create their own signs. I'm going to do a complete walkthrough on how I created this sign, but that'll be for a separate video. This video, we're just going to do some head-to-head comparisons with these filaments and see which one is the better choice, either economically, financially, and or, hey, say maybe you want to have like 100 different rolls of filament. It's going to be much cheaper getting filament from Amazon from a quote-unquote aftermarket company as opposed to going straight to the source of Bambu Lab. Anything name brand is going to be priced up a little higher. I will mention, again, Bambu Lab is running an extreme Black Friday sale on all their printers, their printer materials, their nozzles, their filaments. My suggestion to anybody getting into printing, check out Bambu Labs. They're very easy to use, especially from somebody like me who never even touched the 3D printing world yet a couple of months ago. I've had so much fun creating stuff, and I've also had a ton of fun learning the process of Fusion 360. So what I need to do, since this won't fit on my AMS, I'm going to take one of these spare rolls and I'm going to start loading up this filament onto here. It's going to take some time. I'll spare you the agony of watching me do it. Maybe I'll do a time lapse and you guys can follow along after that. We'll run some test prints and see the difference. Let's do it. Love this thing. So psyched. So psyched. I got some I got some shadowing there. There we go. Cool. That's better. Pretty cool. You can see the depth. I mean, even look at the letters. Look at how cool the letters came out. I can't believe it. It's so cool. All right, we'll see you soon. All right, so we're getting an error message here. It says the extruder is not extruding normally. Refer to the assistant for troubleshooting. There may be defects in the layer. Okay, let's see, resume printer. Check solution. Let's see what happens if I hit play. No, it's not having it.
Oh, sorry, Linda.
Okay, so I think I fixed it. I had to disassemble the AMS here because there was the black and the purple stuck in the filament head itself. Not the nozzle, not the heat nozzle, but in the filament head. For some reason it got stuck. I've never had an issue. Am I calling it that it's SUNLU's fault? Yes and no. I would think one of the main reasons, well, for right now I'll just keep it at no. We'll leave it at that. How about that? I won't hit SUNLU hard with that just yet, unless I have another issue. The yellow print came out fine. I printed this one, no problem. That printed, boom. Now I'm doing the purple, and I'm going to be comparing it to this black one, the very first one I printed. And when it comes down to this thing, I mean, it's only a matter of time. I thought that this would eventually, have some irregularities, hopefully not failures. I think they're pretty good. Knock on wood. I think it's pretty solid. But let's take a look at what this one comes out with. And rolling the print, rolling the filament onto the rolls, worked out pretty well. Did it by hand. Came out not nearly as nice as these, but it's all good. And it's a smaller amount of filament. As you can see, it's a very little bit of this whole entire wheel here. So let's see what print number 2 comes out to with the second filament, and we'll check back in a sec. With the SUNLU filament, I had some snagging issues. I'm not really sure if it was the AMS related. I showed the video earlier. I really think it just came down to the black filament was already in the splitter itself, and it was probably more forward. And then when the purple was put onto the spool and then set in, it could have just caused an issue. Printed the next one, came out really well. Print quality is nearly identical, I would think, almost identical. I actually think that the print quality came out better on these two, mainly because this was the very first print, so the nozzle was brand new. Maybe there was just some breaking in it needed to do. But on the whole, the quality is really, really spectacular. No issues so far. What I'm going to do now is I'm going to get back into Fusion 360. I'm going to adjust my lettering here, and I'm going to send the new adjusted version to the printer, and I'm going to print with the 2 SUNLU filaments and see what kind of results we get. Alright, so what I wound up doing is I went into the original file here in Fusion 360, and I wound up blowing up, meaning scratch that, I wound up expanding and widening my letters. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to show you guys on the screen in 3, 2, 1, go. So here's what I did. I took the original letters here. So the original file, as you can see, if you look between the two, how tight the letters are here, how close they are together. This is whatever, it's a prototype, right? It's a first edition, first run. Now, if you see here, I was able to just click on my original file here, down in my timeline. As you can see the cursor here moving, this is the timeline. These are all the chamfers, all the fillets, blah, 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 everything. Now, what I did was I clicked on this, I hit, oh, excuse me. I hit this, and then I hit edit sketch, and what I did, I double clicked, and now that gave me the ability to, number one, make the height of the letters taller. Not only taller, but I needed them wider, because as you can see in this, the 3D printer text barely stretches past the first letters here, my first. It's almost at the edge of my outer here, which is, quote unquote, the base or the actual surrounding of the 3D printer head. The idea was to kind of have the 3D printer head almost the same size as the lower letters here. So I ended up just expanding this out. I stretched it out as best as I could. Once I raised the height of the letters, that allowed me to widen the actual the 3D printing itself. Then I, since it's already done, I'm just gonna hit OK, finish sketch, boom. Now, it went to a point where not only are the 3D printer letters fitting much better in this lower half here, but it looks better. So I've already exported this file. I've already taken this file from here into my files. Let's open that up. 3D printer logo version 2. Now what we're trying to do here is, here, let me bring this over here so I have better audio, because I'm a little lazy right now. I'm swapping out the mics. All right, what I have here now is I'm gonna expand this, and you can see this on my screen recording. So this is still smaller than I want on this base plate. So I'm gonna go up top here where it says scale. I'm gonna click 150. And that's gonna grow it right to the width of the bed, as wide as what my A1 Mini's bed can handle. It might actually be able to go to 160. Hey, screw it. Let's just go to 160 and see what happens. 160, enter. All right, and I don't think I have any fitment issues. Warning, it seems the 3D printer logo has some floating regions. I'm really not sure which floating regions they're talking about. But what we'll do, let's go back into prepare. Let's lower this down to 155. Let's see what 155, actually like even numbers, so let's go to 156. Now, is my slice okay here? Yeah, slice is okay. All right, here is where not so much of a problem. Here is where I wanted to change the colors to the same as this, but not use the same. I wanted to go with a black background with the yellow lettering and the yellow 3D printer head. Keep in mind, this is version 1.0 or 1.5, whatever you want to call it. What I really want to do is I want to be able to take these and make them separate entities. I wanted to have the 3D printer head itself one color. I wanted to have this inside piece a separate color. And then I wanted to have this and the letters the same color. I can do that. The only way that I think, especially with my lack of experience in Fusion 360, is what I'm going to have to do is I'm going to have to export these as separate components and have them click into each other, meaning I'll have to make little tabs where they'll snap into each other and then glue them after the fact. For demonstration purposes for this version 1.5, I'm just going to do it this way. I'm going to pause the print. So you guys are seeing the screen recording here. So I guess I could just keep this on me. What we're doing here is I'm going to take this down to, say, layer right when it starts to breach the lettering. So I have a little bit of 3D printer coming up. I have a little bit of the logo. We'll get it just enough, just high enough to where I have enough bite of the letters and the actual 3D printing, design to where I'm not going to be bleeding in that second color onto the base. And I had that issue in the first one where I let it go a little too high, and you can see that the white kind of extruded a little too tall for my taste. Still looks pretty cool for a first run. Now, let's pause this print here and let's add a second color. Change filament, we're gonna change this to filament yellow. So boom, this is gonna go all the way up. And now let's slice this plate and see what it's gonna show me. It's gonna say you have a conflict of your spillover. Like, there's like a little block. Every time you do a multi-print, there's this little block that comes along, and that block is where your filament nozzle bleeds off any excess filament from the previous color. I'm not really a fan of this. I don't like the way it does that. I think it's smart. It's how the system works best to clear out that nozzle. I get all of that. My biggest issue with it is I can't make that block really, really skinny. Meaning, like, can I make it just fit? And what happens is, as you can see here, what's going on is it's not giving me that space on the bed anymore. So meaning my 156 millimeter size plate here isn't going to cut it, because you can see the bleed off tower is blended right in, and we can look at that when we go back into prepare. You can see my bleed off tower is literally on top of this thing, so no good. This is one of the drawbacks of having a printer with such a small bed size. Now, the only way that I can figure out how to do this, let's go back to slice, and let's see if I make a pause here. Here, what we're gonna do, scratch that. This is layer 80. Let's just call it layer 84. We'll stop it at layer 84. So let's get rid of this color. We'll bleed that all the way back. We'll go back to prepare. Now, when I slice this plate, it should slice with just the one color. Cool, okay. So now what I'm gonna do, I'm gonna hit a pause. What did we say, layer 84? Let's do that. Let's print, let's select, and we're gonna add a pause. Because what we're gonna do at that layer, I wonder if it's gonna let me even slice it. And again, this is where it comes with the experience, my lack of experience, and or the fact that what I would plan on doing there to save that little purge tower, right? I think that's what they call it. It's like a purge tower. It eliminates any, long and short, it's a pain in the ass when you have a small printer. So what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna hit pause here, and I'm gonna see if when I hit the pause, I can actually swap out the filament right then and there and be able to do a multicolor print without using the AMS, only for this particular project, simply because it doesn't fit on the bed. So let's try to do that. Let's see if we can actually do that. We'll hit a pause at right here. See, the thing it's showing me is it's not letting me slice the plate. So what we will do, let's slice it again. Okay, so my pause is in. You guys can see on the screen recording if it's still showing up. I put a pause at layer 84. I'm gonna hit print plate. We're gonna start this plate with black. We'll go with black for the base, and let's send this over to the printer. Okay, when it comes down to that layer 84, this will be an actual test if something like this can work. From what I've seen on other channels, you're able to do this. Now, when it comes down to multicolor prints, you're able to do multicolor prints even without an AMS. The AMS just makes life easier because say you're doing a ton of printing and you don't have time, or you're not even around the printer when it's about to change filaments. That's the beauty of these things. Can you do it this way? We're gonna find out right now. So I'll get back to you guys in, I don't know, say this is a 4-something hour print. I'll get back to you guys. For you, it'll be 5 seconds. For me, it'll be about 5 hours because I have a bunch of other things going on. Plus, I want to be able to hit pause at the right time, swap this out to the yellow, and continue on so I have a nice kind of bumblebee-looking logo. So let's check this out. Let's see if these colors are even cool. The goal of this was to test this yellow on an actual print, not just a benchy. I'm going to do a couple of more tests with this. I'm going to do some flex tests. I'm going to do some, just durability tests. But that'll come down the road as far as durability. So I'll see you in a few. Okay, cool. So what I wound up doing, this is a kind of a hack you can do if you don't have an AMS. What I did was I just clipped the black leading out of here. I snipped it, pulled it off, put it over here for now, and then I pulled my yellow out of there and I put it here. And I just fed the yellow through. I saw a little bit of a red blinking light here on number 3 where the black was. And as soon as I shoved enough of the yellow filament up to meet the remaining of the black, boom, it literally just sucked it in and it started doing its thing. So I had to hit pause to do that. This is a really, really useful way to get multicolor prints if you don't have an AMS. The beauty of the AMS is you're able to do these multicolor prints without having to babysit the thing. You could walk away. So I will see the progress of this as far as is there any adhesion issues. Did it adhere to the board the way I wanted it to? Might have a nice cool little blend between 1 or 2 letters on the very bottom. You won't see that because the top's going to be all yellow. But we are well on our way. We're 55% down. And I am now just waiting to see this yellow start to pour through. And I can already see it's inching closer and closer. Where's my yellow? Okay. Alright, so far so good. It looks like it worked. You see I have my little, my desiccant pouches here, just to hopefully eliminate any of the moisture. I'm going to get an enclosure for this. I'm going to build one, 3D print one, or I'm going to use one of these Tupperwares. One of my subscribers from Australia, you know who you are, you're the man, showed me a couple of homemade solutions he created. So now let's see if the yellow is going to come out. That would be awesome. Really want to see some yellow here. Yeah, it's working. All right. I am psyched. Very, very psyched. Now that you see it started at the R here, which means most likely the 3D and P already had some black on it. But that's okay because this is only 56% done, and I believe this is layer maybe 84 out of X amount of layers. So without a doubt, I'll be able to get the colors that I'm looking for. And I'm excited, yay, it worked. This is such a challenge, but it's a challenge that I really don't mind facing. I'm excited to face these challenges because you learn something. Every time you mess with this machine, you learn. Every time you use Fusion 360, you learn. And that's the beauty of this channel. That's the whole purpose of why I started this channel, is to show anybody can do this. So, hey, by the way, if you're not subscribed, I'm trying to hit 1,000 subscribers by December. I promise you it'll be worth it. I'm going to be doing some lives, meaning I'm going to start doing some live videos where I ask the viewers, what do you want me to create? I'm going to create it in Fusion 360, and then I'm going to print it. It's going to be really cool. We'll start with something small. This way people aren't sitting around the entire time for the print to go through. It's going to be a nightmare for people who want to wait 5 hours for a print. But we'll do some simple stuff in the beginning just to get the feel of it, to see how it's working. And check this out. We are doing great here. Psyched. Really, really excited. Love this machine. Let's continue on. Let's see what the finished product is. And we are testing the SUNLU 3D filament from Amazon. Let's see how this bad boy competes. All right, the print is done, and it looks like there's a bit of an error as far as, here, let's pull this off the plate. It looks like, well, yeah, I think the error is more on my end here. All right, so what happened here is, let me get these little, like a little filament piece of, oh, there goes my eye. That's all right. So there looks like there's a little, looks like when I had lowered the shelf here for the letters, and when I lowered it, I forgot to lower the exterior, which is okay. Other than that, I think this came out really, really cool. Let's get this off the plate. All right. Well, I would say that's a successful print. Alright, pretty good. Alright, I like it. I like it a lot. I think it came out really good. I'm very satisfied. Oh, and check out, I rewound the purple filament, so it looks very, very similar to the Bamboo Lab. I rewound the orange, and I wound a green that will be going on as well soon. I'm really, really pleased with the SUNLU filament. Now, I have a couple of benchies here. I'll show you the comparisons between the three. this was the original one that was printed way 2 months ago when I first got the printer. Get focus on it. Boom. You can see the lines on the top, pretty clean. And then you look at these two from SUNLU. I'm very impressed with the print quality. I'm impressed with the flow. Set aside the one problem that I had that, you know, you've already seen a little bit of detail about earlier in the video. This is exciting. The part that is so exciting is the fact that this print filament is close to 50% cheaper than what you're buying on Bamboo. Now, will it withstand long term? I don't know. I don't have that answer yet. I haven't had a chance to test out long term because I've only been doing this a couple of months. What I plan on doing though is taking one from Bamboo and one from SUNLU, and I'm gonna tape them to one of my railings outside here. I'm gonna zip tie them to the railing, and I'm gonna let them stay there for like 5 months. And we'll check month in, month out, and see the degradation of each filament. Does the SUNLU hold up to the sun? Does the Bamboo Lab hold up to the sun? And is PLA the answer to that question? I don't know. I'm learning just as much as everybody else here on YouTube who are learning about 3D printers. I'm really psyched that you're here along on my journey. I'm really pumped. And overall, I've had a really positive experience so far with the printing itself, the community involved online here on YouTube in Maker World. It's really cool because everybody's trying to create something that's useful, something fun, or a combination of both, and maybe even a product where they want to bring to market. That's kind of my mindset is, hey, what kind of problem can I solve in the market, and how can I best solve that problem in a quick and efficient way for people? Some of the ideas, they're a lot bigger, but that's, you know, time. I need some time behind the wheel, so to speak. Other than that, I'm really excited. I think that logo came out very cool for what it is. And we'll get a little bit of zooming action there. I think it came out really cool. It looks good. I told you I have a couple. I mentioned it to I believe I mentioned it on a recent short. I'm going to put a line inside of that outer part. So let's take a look at this one for now, and we'll just demonstrate from here. Where's a good thing to point? Here we go. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to cut a line in this. I'm going to cut a channel in here. In Fusion, I'm going to design it where I have room for a thin rope light. I've seen these rope lights on AliExpress, and they're friggin' awesome. They're thin, flexible LED ropes, and they're about the thickness of the pencil, or maybe if you think about like, it's no thicker than this wire here. Really cool. Again, there's just so much you can do with these things, and I'm really excited to continue on. So what do you think of my logo? Excuse me. What do you think of my logo? Is it cool? Does it suck? Let me know in the comments what you think. And yeah, let me know your experience so far with 3D printing. Have you ever had any failures like the one I had with this particular filament? Or was it the filament? Or was it just the fact that the black line was poking through further than the purple at the time? Who knows? We'll find out as we go along on this journey of using this thing on a daily basis, putting a ton of hours on it, testing different filaments, and testing. The next thing I'm going to test with this filament is the strength. I really feel the PLA is very strong, the Bamboo Lab PLA. Will this one be as strong? It feels it is, so we'll find out. Other than that, thank you so much for tuning in. I love all of you guys that are watching these videos and tuning in and commenting and subscribing. You guys are freaking awesome. I'm looking to hit 1,000 subscribers by December 31st. I think it's possible. I'm trying to set a big goal here. Everybody who tunes in, just hit the notification bell, hit the subscribe, like, and get notified when the videos come out. Think about it like this. The more people who subscribe to the channel, the more I see that what I'm posting is cool. And if you have ideas for videos, throw them in the comments and I'd be happy to make those videos. That's what this is all about. It's about a community. Everybody's got to start somewhere. And I'm really excited to have this journey and share it along with you guys. Until the next one, keep an eye out. I'm going to have a couple other ones coming up. Have an awesome day and go out and print something.